Tuesday morning. I'm TerryLynn Boyle coming to you from Vancouver Island, Canada. And this lovely creature next to me is Nicole Nattrass. Nicole is an expert in self-care and how to get there. She's an expert in journaling. She's a dramaturge. She's a playwright. She's an actress. She's done a couple of one-woman shows. What was the Mamahood one?
Mamahood Bursting into Light.
Yes, Mamahood Bursting into Light. And then her most recent one is Suddenly 50.
Yes.
Because you're suddenly 50.
Suddenly 50.
Yes. So today, unfortunately, I'm not going to be doing any readings. I am under the weather and have been for like 2 or 3 weeks now. It's ridiculous. And it's not COVID. So, or else she wouldn't be here. So, Nicole, you have a book that is out, and this is Nicole's.
Yes.
This is called Just the Two of Us by Nicole Nattrass.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about this book, Nicole.
Sure. I just want to say, first of all, thank you for having me on your show. I have the privilege of knowing TerryLynn Boyle. I wrote an article in medium.com about this amazing woman here. Because she is truly a gift, and it's an honor to be here. And I just want to take a moment to welcome everyone and to thank you all for joining us today. You know, life on Zoom and on online is an interesting life, and I know it takes what it takes to get here. So I just want to acknowledge that and thank you all for doing whatever it takes to join us today. I'm here to discuss a little bit about what my work in the world is, but also I'm here to spread some love on TerryLynn Boyle, who hasn't been feeling well for the last while, and just to get to know you a bit. My background is as an actor, performer, playwright, as well as an addiction counselor. So I have these two worlds, and my professional expertise really draws on those two worlds. And for a long time, as many of us kind of figure out where our paths take us, I wondered, how do these things relate? And what I realized is that they relate really, really deeply. Part of my gift in the world is sensitivity and creativity. And so as I go into my 50s, I'm feeling a sense of mastery. And part of that mastery is to write and share my work in a book called Just the Two of Us, A Soft Place for Tender Hearts to Land. And really, this book is about how we use journaling and creativity to heal ourselves, to become more aware, to uplift others as well. So a lot of my work is about really tuning in to yourself, just as TerryLynn tunes into others when she gives readings. As a counselor, I'm lending that lens as well. And so today I just want to talk a little bit about creative journaling and offer you some insights and exercises maybe into how you can deepen your own practice and your own intuition.
I have a question.
Sure.
Okay. So creative journaling.
Yes.
Okay. So journaling, I know because, I get up every morning and I write down a few things on a piece of paper in a book I keep, right? So how do I get creative? What is creative journaling? Explain that to me, please.
Well, I think creative journaling is a sense of play. And, when we see young children, we recognize that they automatically have access to this intuitive place of playing, right? And as adults, we can kind of lose touch with that. Life becomes serious. And as it does, or we're dealing with different challenges, different obstacles in our lives. And so creativity and getting back to that creative journaling is really about delighting yourself. How do we get back to that sense of play? And so it might be through adding colors in your journal. It might be using images. It might be using watercolor. It's basically the idea that the journal is that soft place to land. It's that container. So anything goes on the page. I'm really about not having any rules or right or wrong on the page. So I always say, guess what? There are no journal police. So there's nobody coming by, there's nobody coming by to check your work and to really get away from this idea of what we learn in school, which might be we all have to write in the lines kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really tuning into yourself. And one of the things that I'm really curious about right now is creative alchemy.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
That's an interesting thought.
Mm-hmm.
So, see, I knew what creative journaling was because I took her course. And she really helped to open me up as far as journaling went, because I was raised in a time where we all had to be perfect, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I have a different way of journaling now. I use crayons. I have my own box of Crayolas that my grandchildren are not allowed to touch. So I use my Crayolas. I have markers. I have stickers. I have 100 journals in the store, but I go to the dollar store to get a cheap journal so I can do whatever I want. And it's big.
So it kind of looks like this.
It does. Yeah, except mine has crayons.
Yeah, yours has crayons on it.
I have crayons all over it. Yes.
Part of that idea of landing on the page and allowing ourselves to play is actually supports our brain. So when our right hand is working on the page, it frees up the other side of our brain that brings in new ideas and our intuition. And so a lot of people maybe don't know that journaling has now got a lot of scientific research and data that shows what happens to our brains when we take the time to write down on the page, whether it's doodling, right? It's not about what we're actually writing. It's about the act of doing it. And a lot of the studies show that when we engage doodling or drawing or writing down on the page, it's like a massage for your brain.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, I have a question for you, because I want to get to this creative alchemy too, right?
Yeah. Yes.
And this might be a segue into it, right? We're good at that stuff. We do improv,
Segue.
eh? So, I have, let me grab it. It's right back here. I have what I call my my reading book. That's not what I call it, but I'm not going to tell you what I call it. So anyway, when I'm doing a reading, I sit with a pen, I have my book, and I look at this. I write, right?
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily write names or anything. I doodle.
Yep.
I
get information.
Is that what I'm doing? I guess I don't know why I do it, and a lot of it is just. Do you know what I try and do? Is I try and draw a perfect square, a cube.
Oh, cool.
I mean, and I can't. I start them all, and see,
That's pretty perfect, that one.
No, they're not good at all. I do them all the time. So this is my brain getting massaged while I'm doing a reading.
While you're getting all that information, it's also a way of you tracking. And so journaling is also, it's a window into ourselves, but it's an outlet, but it's also a container. So part of that creative alchemy is, if I'm creating a container, what we know about creative alchemy is that it's a transformational experience. It's substances coming together to create another substance. So when we think about using it in our journal, it's like if I'm taking all the elements of, say, a situation in my life that's troubling, maybe it's an obstacle or maybe it's resistance to something, and I start adding elements, I start adding color, I start adding images, I start adding stickers. What I'm doing is I'm softening what's on the page.
Oh, yeah,
And then I can go further with that, and I can actually change the picture. So it's almost like rewriting, right? Rewriting the story of what's going on. And so first, what I will do with creative alchemy is I'll make a choice. Let's say I'm procrastinating on something. I know nobody here procrastinates on anything.
Never.
But I actually had this experience where I recognized that I was procrastinating for a significant amount of time, which got my attention. And so I made a choice. That's step one in creative alchemy. I made a choice. I'm going to write this down. I'm going to face this, even if I feel fear. And I felt kind of silly. Like, why am I afraid of this? There's some kind of resistance going on. The second thing that I did was I looked at what I did on the page with all my messy writing, and I thought, how can I soften this for myself? How can I express to myself some self-compassion, right? A lot of us talk about self-compassion, but how do we really practice it? And for me, it's not in my brain. I I can see it on the page, and I might take yellow, or I might take a color that I'm really drawn to. You know, color has a profound impact on the brain. So I might take a color and I might just trace around it. I might circle things that are important to me on the page, like, that really hit me. I'm upset about that. And then I do the third step, which is I soothe myself. So how do I soothe myself on the page? Again, I'm delighting myself. I'm taking that time to honor, witness, and validate my experience. You know, a lot of us go through life waiting for people to give us permission for things. Like how right? Waiting, or if someone could see me here, or if someone could help me with this. And for me, journaling is taking that time, whether it's 5 to 15 minutes, to really honor and validate myself. And you know what happens? 3 weeks later, or 2 weeks later, a week later, I'll open up my journal and I'll go, you know what? That doesn't bug me anymore.
Oh.
To me, that's the power of creative alchemy. And I think we use it. We use it all the time. It's like when we're in the kitchen and we're baking a cake, and some of us need a recipe and some of us don't. And we mix all those ingredients and out comes this beautiful cake. I think in any kind of creative process, that's kind of creation in itself, right?
Well, I agree 100%. I just lost my thought. It went over there.
It ran.
It
That's
did.
what happens
I
when you're
know.
sick.
I know. Yeah,
Feel
when
for
you're
her.
62.
62.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
She's complaining about 50. 50 is amazing.
50. I have had the privilege and honor of having many readings by TerryLynn. I also feel very privileged that she's been able to support our family through some really, really difficult times. So appreciative of that. And this gift that TerryLynn has is channeled through such love and such sensitivity. And, you know, it's such an honor. I was thinking back of how long we've known each other. 10 years?
20, longer than that.
Longer than that.
2011.
Oh my goodness.
2011.
Wow. TerryLynn has been known to come over to my house when I say, I feel some strange energy here. Would you come over and do a clearing for me?
And I have.
And the answer is yes. If you are looking for more, more guidance in terms of your own journaling practice, you know, there's so many ways that you can kind of explore that. But I just want to share one journaling exercise or a journaling prompt with you today. Is one of the ways that I like to start my day is just to even take 5 minutes and ask the question on the page, what is going well for you right now?
Oh.
And that really kind of grounds me. I don't know about you, but I'm not necessarily a morning person. As a parent, it's one of the things that I had to learn very quickly was to be a morning person. And one of the things that really helps me is to just take time to go, what is working well for me right now? It kind of lands me in gratitude. It lands me in appreciation, but it also puts me in the focus of being in the present, in the now, right? And then if you want to explore it further, you'd say, how do I feel right now? And then a third writing prompt, how do I want to feel right now? Right? So then even just those 3 simple prompts, a lot of myths about journaling is this idea that, oh, I need an hour every day, you know, or I'm not going to be a good journaler. Again, there are no journal police. If I manage 1 to 8 minutes in my journal a day, I'm doing great. I don't have to manage that. Sometimes I can do that when I'm driving in the car. What is going well for me right now? Oh, well, I'm feeling this way, and I like this color red on me today, and I'm feeling excited about going to spend time with TerryLynn today.
So you don't have to write it down?
No.
Oh.
No, because journaling is like meditating with a pen. So you can also take the pen away and just be like, again, that positive affirmation, right? Of this is what I'm feeling. This is what I'm thinking. So if you don't have the time to do it, a lot of us don't. We're busy. We're multitasking, amazing creatures. You can just take that moment to check in with yourself, you know?
So here I've been beating myself up because I don't spend, 30 minutes or an hour with my journal. And I mean, I drive around, I do a lot of driving. So I'm like, okay, so what's going on today? What am I doing today? So I've been journaling all this time and I didn't even realize.
Well, that might be a little bit of a stretch there, Terry.
This is my story.
But it is about, again, taking that time. That's part of that self-care that we can do, right? And that is connected to our spiritual self-care, right? Emotional, mental, spiritual self-care.
That's when people come into the store and I talk to them about, they're looking for a daily spiritual practice. I don't know what to do. I'm lost. And, okay, so oracle cards, meditation, these kind of things. And what I tell them is to start a daily spiritual practice. Get up 30 minutes before you normally do. Go get your oracle cards, have them ready, get up, go to the washroom, and then come back, sit, put headphones on for 10 minutes and listen to nature, the water, rain, fire, whatever it is that you need to listen to.
Yeah.
And after the 10 minutes, go get your cards, shuffle them up, pull a card, get your journal right in there. It takes a matter of 30 minutes. Now, ask me how many mornings I do that.
How many mornings do you do that, Terry?
So today on our show, we have Nicole Nattrass.
So you know what, again, we want to watch out for that perfectionism, right? Because when we're putting those expectations on ourselves, what ends up happening is we end up feeling bad. So how likely are we to go back to that pattern if we're feeling bad? Which is kind of, I want to bring it back to this idea of, what is your relationship like to your journal?
That is exactly the point.
Color,
exactly.
stickers,
yes.
Like you want to, it's like going to the gym. I go to the gym where I like the music, I like the atmosphere, I like the people, I like all those things. So we want to remember that enjoyment is that motivating factor, right?
Right.
And, there's so many great journaling practices. I happen to be a member of the International Association of Journal Writing. It's a great community. There are so many either courses that you can take, go at your own pace. There's free journaling exercises. Part of this idea of connecting us all internationally to a community that can share different resources is so, so important. Like Moonstruck, right? It's the same idea of being able to connect internationally is incredible.
Oh, yeah. No, wow. Moonstruck TV and A1R, psychicradio.com, amazing that they're able to connect. Because, I've done readings in Morocco, in Finland, or Denmark, I'm not sure which, down in Ecuador, all over the United States, in Scotland and Ireland, in England, and all over Canada. It's just been a great, it's a great medium. Did you get that? To help us all connect globally.
I feel like that was a real Canadian moment, guys.
Sorry. Sorry, it's my sickness here. It's not completely straight here. So
yeah, it is an incredible medium.
So you have a course that you do online, though, isn't that right?
I do.
Yes. Tell me about that.
I have an online course. It's Go at Your Own Pace. It's through the International Association of Journal Writing. It's called Creative Journaling for Self-Care. I have books. I've been really fortunate that during the pandemic, I wrote a book, but I was also asked to contribute to 4 new books. Like,
wow.
I know, a chapter.
Why didn't I know that?
I don't know. It's a chapter in each book, which is really exciting. I also offer e-courses. So if you don't want to engage in an online course, you can have options that come into your email every week. And I offer coaching. So I have a whole bunch of different options that people can tune into if they want. And the other piece is you can also spend some time for yourself thinking about what you are interested in. And you can Google different writing prompts. So if you are interested in self-care, put it in Google, self-care writing prompts, and see all the writing prompts that come up for you. But if you're looking for guidance, there's, I'm also available for sure. Yeah.
So I had that other thought. My thoughts are chasing over there. I think I'm going to walk over there after the show and everything is going
to... Let me see if I can channel that thought.
So, if you haven't noticed, Nicole is a very good friend of mine, and we've been friends a long time. But she's taught me quite a bit about because I did take her creative journaling class, and the thing I think the one thing that I know I've been hearing you say, I know that we both agree on, is that there is no wrong way. You know, like I said, oh, 30 minutes, blah blah blah. But that's only if that's what you do. If one day you do it for 5 minutes, then you do it for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
If one day you're at an hour and 30 minutes, well, you're at an hour and 30 minutes. But if you ask 10 people one question, the same question, you're going to get 10 different answers. That doesn't mean that none of those people are wrong. It just means that everybody has their own opinion and everybody has their own way of doing things.
Yeah.
So just take what resonates from each one of those people, and that's your answer.
Yeah.
There is no wrong way. It's just a different way.
Yeah. And everybody has their own unique path. The whole idea is that if you start, then you find out what works for you, right?
Exactly. And that's sometimes it's a real hard thing to start, right? That's where I have issues because for whatever reason, and this is, I'm working very hard on my self-care, but for whatever reason, sometimes I feel like, oh, well, I should brush my teeth. Well, I don't deserve to have clean teeth, you know, or that's kind of an exaggeration, but you know, sometimes we don't think that we deserve to spend that time journaling or meditating or doing something for ourselves.
And we can have that self-sabotage, right?
Yes.
And that self-sabotage is just, it's old hurt, right? It's old unworthiness that comes up that kind of says, well, you know, I got to put other people first. I've got to do this, do this, do this. A lot of us do that as parents, right?
Yeah.
Where we're always putting everybody else first. It's challenging that way, right? But if we can stop and remind ourselves like, hey, if I'm taking care of her, I got to take care of me at the same time, right? It's like having that balance.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that's something that, you know, I think it's kind of like my generation, you know, we always put ourselves second. And we were taught, you know, you have to be perfect. It doesn't matter what's going on the inside, but the outside needs to look perfect. You know, the house might be a mess, but somebody's coming over. We shove everything in the closet and under the beds, you know, because it has to look perfect. So it's taken a long time for me to realize that I don't have to be perfect, and I really don't want to be perfect. That's a lot of stress.
Yeah.
A lot of pressure, hey?
And it's taken me a long time to be messy in my journal. And now I'm super messy.
Are you really?
Super messy.
No.
And it's so freeing. She knows exactly I am. It's so freeing to be messy. I don't know, you can't see that really. Maybe you can. It's just freeing, again, to color outside the lines.
Oh, I know what I was going to say.
Yeah.
It's okay to be angry and write in your journal.
Oh, yeah.
There was one time a lady, I don't know if it was you or not. I can't remember. It's somewhere in my travels throughout the years. Someone told me that I needed to have like an angry journal. So I went to the dollar store and I got an angry journal. I made it the prettiest possible journal that I could possibly have. And it said Carpe Diem on it.
Yeah.
And so what would happen is she said, whenever you're angry, go get this journal, write a sentence or two, but that's it. And then just let it go. So, you know, I'd go get my journal. I get mad at my husband or something. And wow, Steve's a jerk, you know, and I'd set it down and I'd walk away, you know. Oh, you know, the grandkids, blah, blah, blah. Oh, they did this. Oh, they just made me mad. I'd close it and I'd go walk away. Was it you that told me that?
No.
Oh, well, it was a good idea though.
But I think it's a great idea. Again, I think it's that journey, that soft place to land. So we have to recognize that we are allowed. What an amazing point is that we are allowed to get angry in our journal. And guess what? Nothing bad happens. No one gets hurt. You know, we can, if something's upsetting in our lives, then we have to talk to someone. We can make those notes for ourselves. We can almost script things and then say, these are all the things that I need to say. Is this appropriate to say? Again, it's that idea that it's a container, it's an outlet, and it's a window into ourselves, right?
Yes. So, Nicole.
Yes.
The 30 minutes is coming up. The end of the show. It's here now.
It's very, very fast how it all happens, isn't it?
Told you, it goes done, right?
Wow.
So, how can people get a hold of you if they would like? Do you have a website?
I do. You can get a hold of me on my website. It's www.nicolenatris.com.
Perfect. And they can get all your information there, figure everything out. I will be back next week, possibly with Nicole. But next week, I'm going to talk to my lovely friend, Michelle Wanacott. And Michelle is known as the Pet Psychic. And I'm going to see if she'll join me next week. And we'll do a couple of readings next week. But as I said, this week, no readings. I've not been feeling well for the last little bit here. So I want to say thank you so much, Nicole, for coming and joining me. I hope you will come back again in a little bit. And do you have any last words?
Well, I'm very, very honored that you asked me to join you, TerryLynn, and very honored that, as your friend, as a counselor, that you're taking some good self-care time. It's important, right? That we keep ourselves healthy, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. And so she is demonstrating exactly the most excellent thing we can do for ourselves.
You really need to watch it too, because I don't demonstrate that very often. Although I am learning, I will say that. And thank you so much, Nicole, for coming. And thank you all for having such a wonderful time with us, because I know you did, right? Have a wonderful day. Stay tuned. I know you've got a great reader coming up next here on Moonstruck TV and A1RPsychicRadio.com. Until next week, have a beautiful week. Hugs, kisses, and remember, there's no wrong way.